Hi, welcome to Sportsy. Let's talk sports. Over the last few episodes, we've been talking to multiple athletes or administrators. Today, we are going to talk about a sport which is not known in India. It is actually internationally played in 32 countries and a complete new entrant for India market. I'm going to talk to two of my friends, Prasad Kapre and Nikhil Punde, the CEO and COO of a game called touch tennis. It's a modified version of tennis which is played on a compact court with a foam ball and a smaller racket. Sounds interesting? I think it's one of the best recreational thing that we can get and something that we can build the whole sporting habit in the kids or for mid-age or the older age without any restriction on infrastructure or anything. So looking forward to this fun chat with Nikhil Punde and Prasad Kapre. Hi Prasad, hi Nikhil. Good to see
That's
you
it.
on this show, Sportsy, where we discuss sports. So it's like we go with the thing, let's talk sports. So for the viewers of this show, we have, I just want to give you introduction, two great friends. I call them partner in crime. And now they two, both of them have come together to do something which is a different sport that it's a very interesting way to look at that thing as well. It's called touch tennis. So Prasad Kapre, guy who is from the sports industry for many years, been with Bharat FC and Stepathlon and Anglian Group, handling multiple activities on the sports side. Nikhil running his own startup in Sparap, mainly interested in the whole analytics side or the how to grow a particular entity, so entrepreneurial sides. Also, been a national level badminton player before that, and a banker, M&A guy coming into sports. So it's like we three, all of us, kind of share a similar journey from where we were and where we are.
Yeah,
So it's always fun to
true.
talk to you guys. And today we will be talking mainly from a interesting sport that you guys are getting to India called touch tennis. What is touch tennis?
Okay, so touch tennis, to define it in a one line, it's a shorter format of tennis. Basically, it's played on a much shorter court than a normal tennis court. If I have to give you the relative term, it's same court size as the badminton size court. The equipment is more or less the same. The junior tennis racket, the 21-inch tennis racket is used, and a special high density foam ball. So
Okay.
and bit of crazy rules is
Mm-hmm.
what defines touch tennis. So otherwise, the playing style, the serve and volley, the rallies, the ground markings remain mostly the same.
Okay. So,
But it's very
so,
quick
And
huh.
yeah,
and
just to add to that,
yeah,
it's essentially a faster and sort of an engaging sport, right? Again, the idea was the founding principles of the sport was to enable anyone to play anywhere, right? That was when how the sport was founded, and we can talk a bit about that later. But as Prasad said, right, that any ability at any place, they should be able to pick up this touch tennis ball, a 21-inch racket, and start playing. So it's an age agnostic from 6 to 60-year-old or even more than that. People can play and more importantly have fun while playing this. So easy to pick up and pretty engaging is how you can sort of classify the sport.
How did you guys even come across this sport? Yes, I have heard of lacrosse and other sports which are there, and pickleball. So, is it similar, or it has got its own identity as a different? And how did you guys come across this sport? And again, the next question, addition to that, how is it going to be relevant for India?
right. That's a great question. So it all started with our partner, the founding partners for the Touch Tennis India, Rishi, who by profession is an architect and is designing a lot of residential projects and township related projects across India. So he primarily was looking for a sport which can be played by many people, because now when they are designing the townships and all that, they have to have like 10% of land reserved for the open spaces and sporting activities. And many a times what he observed is normally builders tend to, or the architects tend to put some tennis court or a basketball court which rarely been used by many people.
Right.
because both of these sports are highly physical and demanding. Unless and until you don't have that kind of skill level, you don't really go and pick it. So tennis again, uh, everybody likes it, but very few people have actually played tennis in India. So it
Right.
looks good on your brochure, on your fines, glossy paper, or when you are giving a 3D view. But very few people actually go out and play. So that's when he chanced upon this touch tennis, and the idea was it's a very compact thing. So giving you reference with the architects and builders, it's require not more than 1,000 square feet of space,
Oh, wow.
which is compared to the tennis court is almost 1/6. Okay, so you save on space. You could have multiple courts. Plus, it's a sport which can be played, as Nikhil rightly said, by anybody, right? So, as an entire family, father, son, daughter, mother, grandparents can come and play together. Certain things like we have in touch tennis is underarm service. Just like badminton, you can do underarm service, because many people struggle to pick up tennis just because of the service. They can't get
Yes.
the ball across the net in the right quadrant, right? That's the
Reason
biggest
for
hurdle that you have in
reason for me to not play tennis.
exactly. So these barriers are taken away, and looking at the Indian scenario now, typical urban India, we are facing a lot of infrastructure challenges, right? And sporting infrastructure is a big challenge. So, uh, as you know, as you rightly said, coming from the Anglian sports infrastructure development background, we knew the challenges involved in developing
Right.
a sporting infrastructure. But touch tennis allows us that flexibility because it can be played on any surface, whether it's your normal mud, grass, concrete, tar, artificial surfaces, synthetic grass, you name it. And this particular ball that Nikhil will talk about or will show at a later stage, it bounces equally well on all the surfaces. So you don't really need a dedicated vinyl surface or a
Yeah.
clay court to play this
Mhm.
sport. And that's why we thought it's a right fit for India, because right now a lot of people want to play, but the infrastructure is a bottleneck right now in India.
Right.
Right, and sort of going back to your question, Sid, right, in terms of how we got involved. So as Prasad said, Prasad Rishikesh, actually they went to Manchester. They had a great sort of meeting with the founder Rashid, and so Prasad and I
South
had
of
a brief
London.
conversation before they
Nikhil,
went,
just
and
to correct, Surrey, to be Guildford, to be precise, just
yes,
south of London.
correct,
Okay.
correct. So when essentially they came back, and I was just I think I'd gone to meet Prasad. So he was like, let's, you know what, let's play. And we just went to the basement of the office, and we had the two touch tennis rackets. We had the ball, and we just started playing. And having sort of come from a badminton background, having played multiple sports, what I really liked about it is we first of all had a very engaging rally, right? Like it just kept going on and on. The ball is designed in such a way also that the rallies are definitely more long lasting in a way, right? And it's easy to connect. You don't really have to. It's not a very heavy skill based sport, so we could just immediately start playing, had a good rally, and it was like 15-20 minutes. We were sweating a bit. It was fun. So
Mhm.
that's what, like, giving you more of a perspective of from a player standpoint. That's what I liked.
Right.
That, and I started with tennis back in the day before I moved to badminton and started playing at national level. First was tennis, but then eventually I played for a year or two and then just moved on to badminton because during rainy seasons you cannot play tennis outside, right?
Yeah.
And that's how the switch was made. So there was this some aspect that I always wanted to learn the sport, and when I played it, and I'm like, this makes a lot of sense for the broader population also.
Okay.
So that's how sort of got involved at a later point, but that was sort of the trigger moment for me, that when we had that good rally in the basement, where I saw that this could really be scaled.
Okay. So interesting. So I think what I understand is can be played on any surface, engaging. It can be it's a nice competitive at the same time engaging sport and recreational sport that anybody and everybody can get involved with. And because of surface and less no investment, almost no investment in the infrastructure is very relevant for India as a market, because and also size you mentioned, right, 1,000 square feet kind of small size. I think that is the
Yeah.
perfect thing. I think I think a lot of things now made sense about connecting the dot. But just to ask, this does not have a federation or association, or does not have a league or a bigger aspect. it is still played into the pockets into different countries. So one is a badminton player, one is a footballer here. So you coming together for something which is completely okay. At least Nikhil has a relation to the racket. But other than that,
Yeah.
what made you choose touch tennis, which does not have a professional unit, which can have a growth at the international level or the mass growth?
Yeah, that's a good one. So again, as you said, I don't have a background in tennis, but that was always been a forbidden fruit. Always used to watch Wimbledon and French Open for the longest of time. Always wanted to pick up tennis. So after I inquired, so after my 40th birthday, I was like, okay, now it's time to learn tennis. So I inquired the fees and all. It's a thing which you pick up and racket sports or a sports which involves ball, which is basically cricket and a bat. Badminton, most of us have played. Table tennis, we have played. So picking up another racket sports is not that really difficult. As Nikhil rightly said, to begin with, it doesn't really require too much skills, but it can get a footballing background with a very well-defined structure, right from your FIFA headquarters to AIFF and all that. After working
Correct.
in that kind of a structured domain, so there are certain challenges in going with the federation, and it is all driven towards, I would say, the elite sports and where the spectator sports. So you just focus on the elite athletes and then bank on the millions or the billions of people to watch them. Whereas the whole foundation of touch tennis is laid on the participativeness of this. Okay, so the Rashid Ahmed who founded this sports, he himself was a very competitive guy, but really couldn't really make it big in LTA. So he's based in UK, so that particular thing. And then it was like, okay, I can't really play competitive sports for whatever reason. That one reason could be I'm not really good enough, or I can't really manage both my work, studies, and this thing, as you write. As all of us know in sport, there is always a dichotomy that whether to choose your career or your academic career, right? And many a times people choose the latter one because you have a assurance that okay, you will earn something if you pursue your
Right.
academic career and become some professional of a sort. But that sportsman, that gladiator in you has never died. So like you always chase that glory. You always want to see yourself standing on that podium, right?
Mhm.
So touch tennis gives you that chance. Yes, we don't have a professional setup or the federation, that kind of a thing, but we do have a very well laid out league structure and the tour structure. So
Okay.
similar to
Interesting.
tennis, we do have masters tournament, challengers tournament, and things like that. So right now, all these are very well structured and going on the European side, particularly the Western Europe. So typically you have a lot of these tournaments and leagues happening in UK, Spain, France, Italy, Germany.
Mhm.
In Latin America, there are a lot of things that are happening right away, all the way up to Argentina, Chile. Asia right now, there's South Korea who has taken a franchise. We have taken a franchise. And in
Mhm.
coming a
There's
few
one in Africa as well, right?
years,
Yeah,
yeah, as soon as we get out of this lockdown, that's
correct.
what we are going to start. So we will have our own facility, what we'll call as experience centers, and we'll start our leagues and these stores to begin with, so that it gives you a competitive spirit, but it's not professional. So you're not playing for money, but
Right.
it's like to show your gut.
Excellent.
There's a module in place. There's a tournament module within tournaments, and we can get it's similar to ATP where you have a league structure. You have like right from an open to a futures to a challenger to a masters. So there's a grade through which you can go up in rankings, and
Mhm.
then there are these open tournaments, leagues, just purely from a participative standpoint, right? So just like let's say a marathon has a recreational division and a professional division, so something along the similar lines, where there is a structure to it, but it's in such a way that people can replicate it in across, let's say within India, different states, different cities, different colleges. So and that is the eventual idea, that how can we not like have a setup where few people are controlling the whole sport, but essentially let people take the existing sport and add their own flavor to it.
Okay.
Local tournaments, local leagues, and then from each of these local fun-based tournaments, there will be a section which will participate in the ranking-based prize money based tournaments, which are
Oh,
also
nice.
just part of the touch tennis family. So in a way,
Interesting.
it gives you both the flavors.
Interesting. So you're
Yeah,
there is no association federation kind of thing, and you're trying to build a grounds up game and trying to convert into a lifestyle where people will grow eventually. It's like you before you going for your 11th grade or graduation, you do the whole academics. So I think this can relate to the system of growing in the community. But again, so do you think that see India in
yeah,
India specifically, tennis has always been something that is like it's considered to be a very costly sport, or it is not. A lot of people don't have access to it. How do you think the touch tennis with the size and everything? How do you plan to grow this at the mass level? Because the name obviously, I now we understood that it's a tennis and touch tennis is very much similar. It's like a smaller version, compatible, economical version. But how do you plan to grow this beyond the league structure that you mentioned? Right? Like it has to be penetrated at different levels, right? I'm just trying to understand that if somebody has to grow a new sport in India, and this could be a good
yeah,
academic study for some of the MBA students and all. If you want to launch a new property, how do you plan to grow
yeah.
that property, which is not, firstly not heard, secondly not seen openly, and but has a lot of benefits.
Right. So now that's like giving you an entire canvas of the business plan, and luckily or unluckily, last 2 months wrecked our heads up on this particular thing. Before also, when we made a business plan, before we took the franchise, we did give a thought. So what you said, that tennis is not really a mainstream sports in India, or not many people have played it or got exposed to it. So it's kind of a both advantage as well as disadvantage. So advantage in a sense that people don't will not carry the baggage of tennis, and the comparison would be very less because they have
Right.
not really played tennis. So they won't really compare it. Okay, touch tennis, this is good, that is bad, or what is this kind of a thing. Whereas they will also look at touch tennis as an expensive game or something of that sort. So yes, there's a lot of awareness that needs to be created around this. So for that, we have thought of various verticals, right, which will cater to the various segments of our society. And there mean I am talking about the age-wise categories, not your typical socio-economic classes. So for that, I think that's completely agnostic. Anybody can pick it up. It's really cheap. If you can play cricket, you can play touch tennis, that kind of a thing. So for kids, we are thinking of conducting the training programs, because it's a great sports to develop their motor skills at the younger age. So right from
Mm-hmm.
your first standard to your sixth standard, probably touch tennis can be really used or taught to see whether they can really pursue tennis at a later stage. So this could be a good starting point for the tennis. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll have the in-school program as well as the after-school programs. Similarly, in the colleges, it would be more like a intra as well as intercollegiate tournament, wherein
Mm-hmm.
on campus we can hold these tournaments, their leagues for them, and it can be part of their college carnival, that kind of a thing. It's all fun and all those things. So you could have a good music, a DJ playing, and this thing, and as well as a nice court in front of your college campus where you can have a go at each other. And the another interesting seat that we forgot to mention is also in touch tennis, men and women play together. Okay, so there is no restriction as such. So there is no men's singles and women's singles
Oh, nice. Okay.
separate. So even a woman can challenge a man in a singles game, and that's really a unique thing about this particular sports, right? And I'm sure a lot of young girls, ladies in India would like to have a go at their male friends with this. Similarly,
And
then
just to, sorry, Prasad, just to add to that point, what Prasad just mentioned, it goes back to the nature of the sport where it's more about the touch and not the power or strength. And that's where having sort of men and women play together makes a lot of sense. Where
Mm-hmm.
it's your depth of touch, your slice, the way you hit your forehand. That makes a big difference, and not really sort of how much shoulder strength you have, your arm strength you have, right? So
Right.
that was just a quick point to what Prasad said.
So, Prasad, just to add to the similar question, firstly, in India, we don't have sport as a culture. Like the parents have just started opening up that kids can take up sports and that can be a mainstream for them. And why it is started happening? Because obviously it has got benefits and also it has got an opportunity to play. Now we are talking about a game where parents won't know that whether there's a career for me, my kid to be in sports. So I can understand people in the older age group, more of a recreation, fitness, and the fun part of it. But as a seriousness perspective, when you're talking about the young kids, beyond the motor skills, how do you think the parents will look at this game when you don't know whether my kid can make a career out of it?
We are not really talking about making a career in sports. As I said, this touch tennis could be a stepping stone for kids who want to take up tennis at a later stage.
Okay.
Initially, first, if you are like a 6-year-old kid, 7-year kid, you just want to have a fun, right? So, like your son had played football, my son had played football. So, football again is a contact sport. So, you get injured or anything of that sort, and it scares the shit out of a kid, right? Similarly, in cricket, it's a team sport. As you have seen, there are a lot of kids, and not every kid gets an individual attention till he really sparkles, right? So these are the few lacunas that we have seen in the typical Indian sporting training kind of a thing. Whereas in the touch tennis, because the court size is small, we'll have a very limited number of kids on the court. It will be a one-on-one kind of a training with the coach. So it is played on the safe environment, and we are also making sure that the parents get involved, as it's like abilities are agnostic rather than being just a soccer mom or soccer dad who comes to drop your kid there. We want to give even the parents a racket, and during our program we want to have those parent and kids matches as well, play as doubles partner with your parent, with your father, with your mother, and things like that, so that they also get involved. So right now at this point of time, we are not really looking at a professional approach to this sports. Is basically a fun activity. Just go out and express yourself. For the kids, as I said again, for the college, it's again fun. The other two age group that we didn't mention in my earlier this thing was the office goers. Again, now it becomes a lot of importance after this COVID thing of managing your health, right? And now when you look at the typical gym setup and the closed or indoor physical activity classes are out of reach or won't be starting enough, I think touch tennis would be a great way of getting physically fit. Like Nikhil was saying, even just 15-20 minutes of a game time can give you easily 3,000 to 4,000 steps, can increase your heart rate into typical fat burn thing of 120 to 130 beats per minute, things like that. And anybody can play. So that is another target, the corporate or the working class. There's another interesting development. I was talking to a couple of my HR friends that they told now that everybody is going to, particularly in India now, the IT people, many of them would prefer working from home. For various reasons. So if you're working from home and you have put in your 8 hours, 10 to 6, what you will do after 6 o'clock, right? You will have time at hand and you can pursue a activity, a physical activity like touch tennis, whether it's in your society or clubhouse and things like that. So I think we have a sports which can cater to all your requirements, right from all your ages, all the gender agnostic, ability agnostic. So going professional at this point of time, I don't see, because we don't want millions of people watching this sports. We will prefer lakhs of people playing it over watching it.
Interesting.
Correct. And just two points there, Sid. One is going back to your question about how parents perceive the sport, right? So if you just look at the typical pie chart of parents, so a majority section of them are looking at sports, school sports, as a way for holistic development of their child, right? So mind, body, cognitive development, social skills, and there is a certain section, to your point, and that section is growing in terms of taking their kid professional, whether making professional football or cricket or playing in the IPL, whatever it is, right? So I feel that the physical literacy part, there's a significant portion of the parents that I see will be addressed through the sport, where positioning that as a good complementary activity to their academics. So I think that segment is what I feel will be the immediate value, and long term definitely will be that you develop the basic motor skills, the cognitive skills, the hand-eye coordination to, let's say, tomorrow pursue tennis or badminton or any other sport. So having that base in place. And I think the second point to your earlier question regarding how we plan to scale this. So I think one of the things that we are focusing on is having a lot of these physical touch points. So what we have realized, and I think that sort of is the DNA of the sport, is once you experience it, you love the sport, right? So idea is to now have more of these physical touch points accessible to more people. And that is going to happen through multiple models, as Prasad talked about, engaging schools, having our own sort of experience centers, tying up with corporates. So even eventually these venues are going to be interconnected, where we're going to strategically have these physical touch points. That way, even if you are, let's say, 35-year-old IT professional, you're a parent, you're a 6-year-old kid, you have some touch tennis facility near you, where you can go and experience the sport. And once you start playing it, you automatically become sort of an advocate, a brand ambassador, and you sort of spread it in your community. So there's a strong social aspect also in terms of trying to scale the sport in India, sort of a community, and you've been involved in community sports for quite a bit. So there's a community sports angle to this, which we really want to, we think, which is relevant for India.
Interesting. So, knowing both of you having the technical background and everything, so do you think because now a lot of physical touch points which you're planning to do, and at the end of it, you might want to collate all the information about all the players are playing at multiple levels. So, do you think we get to see a kind of touch tennis kind of app where every player gets to download, put their own stats, and start playing the one-on-one game, choose the opponent, like, okay, in my society, I'm playing against Prasad. So I put my profile, I say game against Prasad, I put my stats. So, and my ranking starts going up. So do you think something like this is brewing somewhere?
So it's already there, Sid.
Okay.
So we have a pretty robust sort of a tournament management system, as well as a way for you as a player to become part of that point system, and then track your points, track your participation, sign up for tournaments, challenge somebody, to your point, couple of seeds, a couple of rankings above you, right? So I think that's one good thing, given that the sport has scaled now almost to 30 countries with 10,000 players. There has been a lot of trial and error and sort of a validation of this system, and which is sort of now more of a global system. We'll have a India specific sort of version of that, but that's a good thing, where the point system and the categorization, the whole thing is in place. And additionally, what, to your point, what we're also looking at is also a way to use technology to collect some basic training data, health data, training plans, connecting coaches with the players. So since that aspect is relatively new, which we are bringing to India, the academy model, so trying to incorporate technology there also. That way, as a parent, you know what your child is doing, how they're improving, what aspect they need to focus on. So that's another vertical, is the coaching part, and making it sound from two standpoints. One is the technical aspect of coaching, getting it rock solid, and secondly, through technology, taking it to the players and the parents. So definitely an initial version is in place. And the good part is, I think everybody's looking at the India market at this point, given the sheer volume. So there'll be a lot of things that even Prasad and I, and once we are on the ground, really scaling this, we'll sort of take that feedback from the end users and then further improvise on that current system.
Nice. So it's basically, I don't need to be a professional player to be on the ranking system. I can be anybody and everybody who wants to play touch tennis can be on the global ranking system, right?
Absolutely. You can go ahead and sign up like right now. We'll send you the link after this. So you can go create your profile, you'll get a rank. And then once we have tournaments, you can just start playing.
Okay. Where do you get to see more and more information about touch tennis? What's the link? Is it, so if you can just, for the viewers, just let to know the links.
Sure. So for your listeners, we are active on multiple platforms. Touch Tennis, the main website is touchtennis.in, where you'll find all the details about the sport, how it was started, the rules, the kind of equipments, tournaments, everything. We're also very active on social media. So we have a Touch Tennis India Facebook page, as well as Touch Tennis India Instagram page, where we regularly post videos, photos, updates. So I think the social media as well as website is a good way to sort of get in touch with us and just follow what we're doing.
And where do we get the equipment to play? I can understand the 21-inch racket is not a tough thing to get because that's a junior tennis racket. But what about the ball? Because I heard Prasad talking about some proprietary ball with a specific bounce and all those things. So how do we get that ball to play?
Right. So we are in the midst of procuring those balls. So because of this lockdown, our consignment is yet to arrive. So probably by mid-July, the balls would be available, and we will be doing tie-up with the e-retailers so that you can order online or directly can get in touch with us. So I think we missed on that point. Probably Nikhil would
Yeah.
like to. He has a ball with him, so let him explain about the specification
Yeah,
of the ball and what's so special about that ball.
Yeah, I was going to come to that ball. So I just heard the term that it's some proprietary ball, the special bounce ball. So and Nikhil is playing with it. So we are sincerely looking into camera, and Nikhil is playing with it. So let me ask Nikhil about what is so special about
Bouncing it
it.
rather. No, I think this is, to be honest, this is really the USP, the secret sauce, if you may, right? I think it's a high density foam ball, right? And it really it's about 8 centimeters, so it's bigger than a traditional tennis ball. It's bouncier than a traditional tennis ball, making sort of the rallies more engaging and fun. Again, as I said earlier, the whole, I think the secret to the sport is the your ability to like have the right kind of touch. That's why the name touch tennis, and that way you can really control the ball that way. So again, as I said, so this is the high density foam ball, and it typically, if you look at some of the rallies that, and we keep posting content on our YouTube channel and
I've seen,
Instagram as well. The serves, like if you're standing, it can really go much above your height, right? That's sort of is the bounce of the ball, and that again, as I said, makes it really interesting from a rally standpoint.
But is the same ball can be used
And then
across any
this is
platform, right?
the racket.
Yeah.
And that's again the beauty of it. Like you can play it on multiple surfaces, and it'll work. And in fact, it even works on a beach. So you
Interesting.
can play across surfaces, and that's what a lot of, I think, time, resources have been gone in sort of in designing the ball, getting the formula right. So that's I think definitely what makes it special.
Right. The other important thing with this particular ball is, though it's a high density foam ball, it doesn't really absorb the water that much. So even during the rain, you can play. So once you hit the ball, the water is pushed out. So unlike the tennis ball, which becomes soggy and heavier, this
Yeah.
ball you can play it in rain as well. So come whether it's rain, hot sun, cold, you can still play.
Yes, I think in some of the northern countries where you can play on ice as well, right? It's like it's it doesn't matter where you play. It's like as long as there's a base.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
actually, there are interesting videos of this. So, Switzerland, probably Touch Tennis Switzerland posted some videos where the guys are actually playing on snow.
oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So you spoke about the ball is a high density foam. So what is the durability of the ball? Because see, in India we have seen a lot of issues when the infrastructure or the equipment become costly. So or the longevity. So what is the durability of this ball? And it's like how what I don't want to come to MRP because I'm sure a lot of things are happening at your end. So you might want to discuss later. But if you can share that, it will be great. But otherwise, I just want to know about what the durability of the ball.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think that value for money aspect is always there, and that's why cricket or football is really popular in India when the kids on the street pick it up, right? So, with the little experience of India, because the Indian conditions are really different from what they have in Western, right? So, there's no point giving me the results of this durability of what happens in, let's say, England or Spain. There, the ball really lasts, and uh, in India for last 3-4 months, I have been using the ball continuously, knocking it around and all that. So far so good. Over the period of time, it does develop crack, but still it bounces. Ultimately, it's a foam ball, right? You might see a few pieces flying off here and there, but till the time ball bounces or doesn't really crack and breaks into two halves, you can keep playing. So so far, whatever we have seen, it should
And
last.
a player might feel I'm giving a spin also. That doesn't also work.
Exactly. Yeah. It just adds a little bit of challenge to the
Right.
ride.
Right, and
Okay.
I would love to see that happen. That okay, people are still playing on a ball which is like really torn and this thing, and still continue playing with. The way we see kids playing with a ball made of like instead of a cricket ball, a normal tennis ball, you put together just the crush of normal paper,
Yes.
put some tire around it, tire tube cuttings around it, and start playing. That kind of a thing, I'm sure our Indian guys will find some jugaad and
Yeah.
keep playing. And to come to the pricing point, globally it's priced at around $2.5, which is roughly £2. So that's
Mhm.
around 180 to 200 rupees. And we will try to keep the price same because being a global franchise of touch tennis, we have
Right.
those norms. The equipment needs to be priced at the similar point. So we should be able to price it around same price level considering the higher import cost and things like that that we have over here.
Oh, okay. So now my probably last question from my side. When you're talking about the touch channel, the game is coming to India. It is not there. It is now played in 30 countries. I think India has been probably one of the latest entrant in the whole thing, if not, or probably second last. Or the somebody must have come just after India. But when you guys got it, what are the perception of the global market for say somebody like Rashid who wanted to who gave who said, okay, you can take the franchisee ahead, or this model can go for India, and you are now owning the vision for India. How do you think the improvisation that you have done specifically for Indian market? Because I'm sure there's a different world which is there on the western side, which has a sports culture and the family outings and which is related to sports, but India does not have it, right? It's like we like in our houses the tennis ball get passed on from generation to generation, and the season ball get passed on from generation. Football ball, it's chipped off and
Yeah.
still used. So what is the Indianized model that you thought of to make this now a Indian game?
Yeah, so Rashid was really excited when we started talking to him seriously way back in October 2019. So uh, when you say want to own this franchisee for a country with a population of $1.3 billion, it's a huge opportunity, right? From a businessman point of view, it's a huge opportunity. And the interesting story with Rashid is though his father is from across the border, his mother was born and brought up in India before partition. So he has a soft corner towards India and he still calls India as his motherland, right? So that was another soft corner to this thing, and he was really excited to kickstart this game here in India. The Indianization, I think it would be premature for us to right away comment on it. The only thing that so far we have managed to convince him or the touch tennis global as such is the training aspect for the kids globally, which is not there because they are focused completely on the adults. But I somehow managed to convince him that we have the adults in India have not really played this sports. They are not really
Yeah.
aware about this sports. So somewhere we need to start it, and the grassroots with the kids is the best thing to do. That if we introduce kids with this sports, automatically we get entry into their house, right?
Right.
So then the parents get involved, their siblings get involved, kids around him gets involved, and all those things. So he really liked that approach, and
Mhm.
that's how the society is, right? So we are very close to our neighbors, to our other extended family members, and uh, things like that. So if we get into a house through a kid, we at least reach at least 10, 12 other people. That's the whole idea. So we are going to validate this perception now in coming months. So unfortunately, we had planned the summer camps and launching of touch tennis with the summer camps, but due to the COVID thing, we had to postpone all those things. So as and when now uh, the time is right, when the social distancing norms and everything is taken care of, we plan to have this kind of clinics or camps to begin with, where we can
Mhm.
introduce the kids to the sport and then gradually take it with the adults and the senior citizens as well.
Interesting. Interesting. So I think I very excited about this because I have played so many racket sports. Tennis is one sport I could not play, and I didn't. I could, as I said, I could not serve the top, the up hand. But whatever I saw online, I think I just loved it. I have seen both of you taking those challenge of some 10 minutes, 5 minutes on the wall. I think that also looks really good and tempted me to do it with the smiley ball, but yeah, it didn't make sense because that the bounce wasn't something that I was enjoying with that smiley ball
Yeah.
that we get. So that's why the question was about how important is the ball, and I think you answered that pretty well about that is the crux of the whole thing. Looking forward to guys, looking forward to this as a nice a sport which is going to be a family oriented sport. It's not only a son playing or a husband playing or kind of thing. It is going to be the family oriented thing with the least possible equipment that you can go and play anywhere. I personally feel being part of sports industry, I think it has got phenomenal potential. And I think you're taking a good approach, which is going to be educational, going up rather than looking at a bigger picture and then taking it down. So I think it's great, and wish you all the best for touch tennis. And looking forward to your consignment coming to India. And I want to play in my society or wherever we get to play. Like it's looking forward to inching to go out and play. So wish you all the best to get you need a lot of it is sportsman to get a different sport to a place. So you need that kind of attitude. I think salute to your attitude, not going after traditional and trying to do something different. So wish you all the best and take care, guys. Stay safe. We will be sharing more information.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Thank you and take care.
And very soon we should see you on the court rather than sitting and talking like this across the table on Zoom. Let's connect and do this session again on the court very soon.
Yes, exactly. Jalo. Thank you. Take care, guys.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Sid.
Bye.
Bye.